Hello again and welcome to Library Astro. I'm so glad you could join me today for another exciting book review. Remember those books that just stuck with you from childhood? The ones that transported you to different worlds and left you wanting more? Well, today we're diving into one of those treasured stories that still holds a special place in my heart. Get ready for mystery, mayhem, and a whole lot of laughs as we explore the world of the Falcon's Malteser. Meet Tim and Nick Diamond, two brothers living in a chaotic yet strangely charming world. Tim, our narrator, fancies himself a top-notch detective, always eager to solve a good mystery. He's got the mind of Sherlock Holmes, but maybe not quite the finesse yet. Then there's Nick, Tim's older brother, who's less interested in detective work and more inclined towards, well, let's just say he's got a knack for attracting trouble. Their hometown is a blend of the ordinary and the absurd, a place where you might bump into a shady art collector one minute and a runaway ostrich the next. It's the perfect setting for the outlandish situations the Diamond brothers find themselves in. The story kicks off with Tim, our amateur sleuth, bored out of his mind. Summer holidays have just begun, and with Nick being utterly useless as a partner in crime solving, Tim's detective dreams seem a long way off. He longs for a thrilling case, something to prove his detective prowess to the world, or at least to Nick. Little does he know his wish is about to be granted in the most unexpected way. A package arrives at the Diamond residence, addressed to the Diamond Brothers Detective Agency, a name Tim uses for their non-existent detective agency. Inside they find a statuette of a falcon, seemingly insignificant at first glance. However, this is no ordinary bird. This, dear viewers, is the legendary Falcon's Malteser, and it comes with a dying man's plea for help. Before Tim can even utter elementary, "My dear Watson," a strange man appears on their doorstep. As Tim and Nick delve deeper into the mystery of the Falcon's Malteser, they encounter a cast of characters straight out of a comic book. There's the ruthless and eccentric Mr. Gutman, a criminal mastermind who collects priceless artifacts. He's always accompanied by his equally menacing and surprisingly agile pet cat. Then there's the glamorous and dangerous Miss Wilmer, a femme fatale with a penchant for disguises and a knack for getting what she wants. She's as charming as she is cunning, and she's got her eyes on the Falcon's Malteser. And let's not forget the intimidating figure of Mr. Jabber, Mr. Gutman's silent and incredibly strong henchman. Surrounded by these shady characters, Tim and Nick find themselves in over their heads. They quickly realize that the stakes are higher than they ever imagined, and their lives might depend on unraveling the secrets of the Falcon's Malteser. The chase is on. Tim and Nick, with the Falcon's Malteser tucked safely, or so they think, in their possession, become the target of relentless pursuit. Mr. Gutman and his cronies are determined to get their hands on the statuette, and they're not afraid to use any means necessary. The brothers find themselves on the run, dodging danger at every turn. They seek refuge in dingy hotels, navigate through dark alleys, and even find themselves on the wrong side of the law, all in the name of solving the mystery. Tim, with his trusty magnifying glass and his ever-growing collection of detective novels, tries to piece together the puzzle. Just when they think they're getting close to the truth, the Falcon's Malteser reveals a secret of its own. It's not just a statuette, it's a clever disguise for something far more valuable and dangerous. Driven by both fear and insatiable curiosity, Tim convinces a reluctant Nick to investigate the Falcon statuette further. Late one night, armed with only a butter knife and a flashlight, Tim manages to pry open the base of the seemingly solid figure. Inside, nestled amongst cotton wool, they find a small, rolled-up piece of paper, yellowed with age. Unfurling the paper carefully, they discover a hand-drawn map. It's no ordinary map though. This one is filled with strange symbols, coded messages, and landmarks that seem to belong more in a pirate adventure than in their quiet town. Tim, with his self-proclaimed detective skills, heavily inspired by his collection of Sherlock Holmes stories, tries to decipher the map. The map leads them on a wild goose chase across town, from the local library to the park, and finally to the town's Grand Museum of Antiquities. Could the real Falcon be hidden within its hallowed halls? Sneaking into a swanky museum gala, disguised in ill-fitting suits borrowed from their, much to her displeasure, mother's wardrobe, Tim and Nick find themselves surrounded by art connoisseurs, wealthy patrons, and enough canapes to make Nick's eyes water. They try to navigate the sophisticated crowd, their every move punctuated by accidental spills, awkward encounters, and whispers of, "Who are those children?" Convinced that the museum curator, a man with shifty eyes and a nervous cough, holds the key to the mystery, Tim confronts him. Accusations fly, chaos ensues, and security guards are called. In the ensuing commotion, Tim and Nick manage to escape with what they believe is a vital clue: a small ancient Egyptian amulet shaped like a falcon. Their hopes are dashed, however, when they discover that the amulet is a clever fake. Dejected but not defeated, Tim vows to continue his investigation, even if it means facing more dead ends, dangerous encounters, and Nick's endless complaints. As the plot thickens like a bowl of cold porridge in the Diamond household, Tim and Nick discover they're not the only ones after the real Falcon. Miss Wilmer is double-crossing Mr. Gutman and everyone else. Eavesdropping, Tim and Nick overhear a shocking revelation. The real Falcon is a reclusive billionaire who vanished years ago. Can Tim and Nick find the missing billionaire before it's too late? The trail of the Falcon leads our intrepid heroes away from their hometown and towards the coast. Armed with the map and a few borrowed sandwiches, they set off on a rickety bus, leaving a trail of confusion. The salty air of the seaside town does little to soothe their nerves as they follow the map's cryptic clues through a maze of cobbled streets and into a dense forest overlooking the sea. Just when their legs are about to give out, they stumble upon a clearing with a dilapidated lighthouse. Tim is convinced this is the final piece of the puzzle. With hearts pounding in their chests, Tim and Nick make their way inside the lighthouse. The air is thick with the smell of salt, mildew, and something faintly sweet and unsettling. Cobwebs brush against their faces as they navigate the dark and dusty interior, their footsteps echoing in the silence. Suddenly, a voice cuts through the silence. Well, 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 look who finally decided to join me. Standing in the middle of the room, holding a kerosene lamp that casts long dancing shadows on the walls, is Miss Wilmer. Before Tim or Nick can even utter a word, a booming laugh echoes from the entrance. There, blocking their only means of escape, stands Mr. Gutman, flanked by his ever-present cat and the imposing Mr. Jabber. In his hand, he holds the Falcon statuette, which seems to gleam ominously in the dim light. They've walked straight into a trap. Just when it seems like all hope is lost, a loud crash from above makes everyone in the lighthouse jump. Dust rains down from the ceiling as a previously unnoticed trapdoor swings open, revealing a hidden room. A figure emerges from the shadows, their features obscured by the dust and the dim light. As the dust settles, the figure steps into the light, revealing not quite what anyone was expecting. Instead of a formidable tycoon, they are greeted by a scrawny, unassuming man with a wild beard and a twinkle in his eye. In a surprisingly sprightly voice, the man introduces himself as Percival P. Featherstone Hall, the real Falcon. He explains that he orchestrated this elaborate charade, using the Falcon statuette and the map as bait, to draw out those who sought his fortune. He presses a hidden lever, and a section of the lighthouse floor opens up, revealing a secret escape tunnel. Tim and Nick scramble through the escape tunnel, leaving Percival to face Mr. Gutman and Miss Wilmer. They burst out onto the beach, gasping for breath, feeling the sand beneath their feet. Police cars swarmed the lighthouse, lights flashing. Percival had alerted the authorities, ensuring their capture. As the sun sets, Tim and Nick walk away, leaving the chaos behind. They realize the value of unassuming people. Back in the familiar chaos of their bedroom, Tim ponders the events of the past few days. The case of the Falcon's Malteser might be officially closed, but for Tim, some questions linger. Was Percival P. Featherstone Hall really who he claimed to be? What secrets did he leave buried within the lighthouse? Nick, predictably, has moved on. The allure of mystery holds little appeal for him, especially compared to a new comic book or a double scoop ice cream cone. For Nick, the greatest mystery is their mother's energy. News of Mr. Gutman and Miss Wilmer's capture spreads, only to be overshadowed by more outlandish headlines. Life goes on, even when it feels like a bizarre detective novel. The Falcon statuette, now just a quirky souvenir, reminds Tim that the most valuable treasures aren't hidden in secret vaults. They're the memories forged in shared laughter and the unshakable bond between two brothers. The Falcon's Malteser isn't just a hilarious adventure, it's a testament to the power of imagination. Anthony Horowitz, with his signature wit, reminds us that even in the most ordinary of settings, a healthy dose of curiosity and sibling rivalry can lead to extraordinary experiences. For young readers, the book offers a gateway into the world of detective fiction, where quick wit and a touch of mischief can save the day. The book encourages us to embrace our inner detectives and question everything. True adventure often lies in the most unexpected places, but perhaps the most important message is the enduring power of family. Tim and Nick always have each other's backs, and that, dear viewers, is a mystery worth solving again and again. Well, that's it for today's adventure on Library Astro. I hope you enjoyed our journey into the wacky and wonderful world of the Falcon's Malteser. If you're looking for a book that will keep you entertained, surprised, and maybe even a little bit hungry, those crisp descriptions were dangerously accurate, then be sure to check it out. Remember, there's always a new adventure waiting to be discovered within the pages of a good book. So keep exploring, keep reading, and keep those imaginations soaring. Until next time, happy reading.